We just watched Fantastic Four First Steps. Should you?
The Fantastic Four.
This is the Regular Dude Review Show. I'm Ryan Jacob.
I'm Brandon Kelly.
And we are at the cinema. This is the Marvel movie we've been waiting for. Woo! Big, epic, huge, heart, people we care about. Goodness gracious, man.
Wow. I don't know if I'm still excited from the post-credit scene or just the movie itself, but I couldn't take my eyes off the screen. My eyes were glued. Wonderful acting, a good ending that just made me smile.
Epic story about family sticking together, fighting together, all that stuff, man. Just outstanding chemistry. Oh, man, especially between Johnny and Ben, like, they're not just bickering together. They're like real brothers, you know. They'll bicker, they'll be together, and they'll be teammates, you know. Like, it's just good, man. Like, Sue is just fierce, man. Especially as a mother, she is just fierce. Great leader, strong. Goodness gracious. And Pedro, he's Mr. Fantastic. He is, man. He killed it. He bodied it, man.
I gotta give this one a large popcorn. I want to give it a bucket. I kind of do, but it just wasn't as good as Thunderbolts to me. I give Thunderbolts a bucket. I can't justify giving this one a bucket. It just wasn't quite as good to me. But I still loved it. It's still a great Marvel movie, and it's going to get you excited for the future of Marvel. It's one thing I can guarantee.
I'm gonna have to give this movie a bucket. It gets a bucket from me. I love it. My daughter, she gives it a large. So a large is like a 4, basically 4-star. So she gives it a 4 with extra fantastic, she says. So you got a bucket and a large coming from us. It looked epic, spectacular. There's some Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the film. Not too many, but enough that we know. It's just funny, silly, serious, fierce, suspenseful. Man. Like, Sue has a speech. Silver Surfer has a speech. That gave me chills, man. Goosebumps on my arms.
What is that? Get us out of here, Ben! Hold on!
Slow pacing in this movie, but the story's good. It has a good balance of lighthearted moments, comedy, and action. And it keeps it very interesting. I love that we're introduced to Franklin Richards in this movie. Obviously, you can tell from the trailers and stuff, it's no secret. But we get a little bit of taste of how powerful Franklin Richards really is. And that was cool. That was awesome.
So I seen the trailer. I was like, okay, this is going to be good. I was hoping it was going to be good because you couldn't really tell from the trailers. And they started showing more and more. And I'm like, all right, yep, I'm liking what I'm seeing here. It's dope. It is. It's dope. And it was, man, like the whole beginning of the film. It's kind of like a montage a little bit, but it just was like a long montage. It just kept going and going. I wish they showed a little bit more. I'm sad that they cut John Malkovich, Red Ghost. Sad they, he was referenced, but I'm sad they cut his part. Like, you knew when the movie was about to get good. Like, it was good, and then something happens. You're like, okay, it's about to get real good now. I kind of leaned over to my daughter and almost said it, but kind of gave up because I didn't want to break her focus from the movie, It really wasn't too predictable, like you'd think it was, and it kind of, it switched you up, man. There was this one, like, plan that Reed Richards came up with, Reed Richards. It just did not. He should have been smarter than that. Galactus seen it coming. I was like, man, this is predictable. I seen the holes in it, but no, it was part of the story. So it worked out. Johnny Storm, Human Torch, is a big underdog in this movie. Like, he's underrated. He's a big part. He's a big help. Like, he needs a pat on the back from Mr. Fantastic. There's some exposition in the movie, but it's like they show it, you know, like they tell maybe some things, but they show some exposition. I was like, okay, bet, man, Marvel's listening, because they say a lot of exposition in these movies. Like, you know, it's not an origin story movie, but there is a few different characters' origins in this movie, but that's not what the story is about, sort of. And I am glad that Shalal Ball was the Silver Surfer and it wasn't Norrin Rad. As soon as I seen it, I was like, man, I want Norrin to be the Silver Surfer. That's the one we know and we love. He's the dude. But then I'm like, okay, I could be down with watching a female Silver Surfer. And yeah, she's nice. Johnny's onto something. He is, yeah. So, the baby can act. And it's cute. Like, how you get a baby to act? But, you know, I know that they was doing stuff off camera, but they got that baby to act. They did. I was like, what? Natasha Lyonne, Sarah Niles from F1. I was like, where is she from? She's going to be in Toxic Avenger. I can't wait for that. Ralph and Julia as Galactus and Silver Surfer. Dude, they casted this as a beast. They did. Ben dresses nice. Like, he's got style. I fuck with Ben. The world design, just all of it, man. Like, there was one part where I was like, the CGI on this part, but like, nah, the rest of the movie and everything else was dope. I thought Johnny could have maybe looked better. Some of it was a little, I don't know. They did all right, but it looked a little bit cheesy with Johnny sometimes, I think, when he was flamed up. A little bit spoiler. I wish he'd have said flame on. Like, they're doing the clobbering. It's clobbering time, but they ain't saying the flame on. I guess that's Chris's. They want to leave that to Chris. They made it a big deal in Deadpool and Wolverine, so that must be why they left it out of this one. Silver Surfer, her hair kind of looked practical a little bit. I was like, okay. I just seen T2 in IMAX, and I could tell some of the practical effects on the T1000, and this looked like that a little bit. I'm like, all right. I was just talking about how he looked like Silver Surfer. A lot of symbolism throughout the film, just within shots. When the baby was born was beautiful. I like how they had the light shine, and it was just like a new light, you know, and they name dropped Power Cosmic. I'm like, oh shit, all right, they said it. It's on. It's dope. I love it. I'm loving the movie, and I can't wait to see where it goes from here, man. The guy behind us was like, Superman was better. Which, you know, it is what it is. Everybody's going to like what they want. But me and my daughter, we both like Fantastic Four more. You know, I gave Superman a large. I'm giving this one a bucket. I also gave Thunderbolts a bucket. Yeah, Marvel should have done multiverse like this a long time ago. Like, just exploring different worlds and all that, not just being in 616. That's what they should have been doing. Some of these other movies, shot, you know, the good ones, the bad ones, they just should have been in other movies. They're not really tied into the main MCU. They definitely could have leaned into that. That way, if it didn't work out or did, and however they're going to pull all this agglomeration together, it could have all been together, and it couldn't just, like... They had a chance, you know, and they could still maybe do it, you know, and just kind of retcon. And, you know, they did good with the baby and all that. And, like, Sue was a fierce mother, but parents don't really treat babies in movies how real parents treat babies. Like, it's a little superficial. It doesn't really like the real, like... But I guess it'd be kind of weird to be on a baby that's not yours, how a real parent would be. So, and one thing, it was also in the trailer. I never understood it, but if Johnny got his powers in space, why don't his powers work in space? Like, I know it's fire, but still, it should be like a cosmic fire or something, right? Why does it go out when he gets up into the upper atmosphere? Like, didn't he get that stuff in space when there's no atmosphere? I don't know, man.
I just want to say, for all the haters out there too, Julia Garner was awesome as the Silver Surfer, as Shala Ball. People can say whatever they want. She is a real character, by the way, in the comics. For whoever thinks that they did a gender swap on the Silver Surfer, that's not true. She definitely did that role some justice. I personally thought she was great, so I say all the haters can kick rocks. There was some amazing cinematic sequences in this movie. That was definitely the best thing about this movie, was the cinematics. The way that they blended the CGI was just so perfect. Galactus looked amazing. He was awesome. I can't wait to go see that on the IMAX screen. That's going to be crazy. The set design was super dope. Really took me to the 60s. Felt the whole vibe and the culture. I definitely recommend this movie. May not be as great as the Thunderbolts, but definitely still a great, awesome Marvel movie. They're still on the come up. Don't sleep on Marvel. This was dope.
There was a speech towards the beginning, and Sue's talking to the world, and she's in a red shirt, and the way that she's like talking with her hands, it looked like she throws up blood, spells blood with her fingers. Every time I see it, it cracks me up.
I thought it was, I mean, everybody probably noticed it, but it's still kind of funny. You know, we're in the multiverse saga, and in the beginning of the movie, Reed is teaching these kids literally about the multiverse.
Yeah. And I was going to say, like, that's the only time they mention the multiverse
Literally.
in the movie.
Right there
So I
in the
thought that was
beginning.
a cool little Easter egg. They did have a few little Easter eggs at the beginning, you know, like the Latveria and Doom wasn't
Yes.
sitting there. Nobody was sitting there. That was dope.
Yeah, that was cool. I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is probably like nobody else's favorite scene. But okay, so the first time the Excelsior takes off,
Excelsior.
I don't know why, but I like that. I mean, it's just so well done. Like, it looks so real.
The whole movie was done really good. Like,
Yes.
space, the CGI in space was great. Everything was like, all right. I'm gonna jumble around with my notes since we're on this. The CGI, oh man, it was just so dope.
Oh man, yeah. That scene, and then when Galactus first arrives to Earth and he like jumps off the thing into the ocean,
all the water
and
splashing,
sticks his hand down in the dirt. Like, that's so awesome.
man.
It looked so good.
Silver Surfer's facial expressions were so dope. The
Yes.
things were too. Like, it reminded me of like Joe Jusko or Alex Ross just come to life. Like, just those dope ass trading cards and comic covers.
People
just come to
hating
life.
So bad on Silver Surfer, and Silver Surfer was awesome.
Yeah, I love it. I'm glad that it was Shalabah instead of Norrin Red, just because, like, just a sexy ass surfer, you know. Like, I'm sitting here at some scenes like, am I supposed to be looking at Galactus or Silver Surfer's ass right now?
Yeah, Johnny got a good point, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, as soon as they announced it, I knew.
I'll tell you one thing that did kind of disappoint me. I wanted more Rachel.
Yeah.
It only showed her twice.
I still got a few more things about the CGI to talk about before we switch up about all that stuff. But like when she's going on the surfing on the lava and all the space dust and whatnot, just so dope.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna let him do his job here. Here, let's go this way. We'll have Fantastic Four in the background right here. All right, bet. Nah, man.
Yeah, visually there was like nothing at all to complain about with this movie.
I seen it in 3D yesterday with my daughter, and when Sue made the ship turn invisible, that looked real dope in 3D. It was dope.
I can imagine.
It was real dope.
Yeah, I wish that guy didn't lie to us. I wish it was 3D.
Yeah, he told us, he's like, you're gonna need glasses. I'm like, what, really? I was like, all right, I'll watch it in 3D again, because he didn't watch it in 3D, so they didn't do it in 3D. Yeah, so you was talking about Rachel, and this kind of has to do with the CGI a little bit. Like her eyes didn't line up with Thing every single time, and it's about the only time you notice something like that is like a couple times when she was talking to him, and she's just kind of like her eyes are like darting around for a moment.
Yeah.
Trying to like, am I supposed to look here, or maybe here? Oh, okay. Well, let's look over here at the windows then.
Yeah, I actually didn't even think about that until you just brought that up. Yeah, that is true.
But no, she was great. She stood out.
She was just like in the 2005 Fantastic Four. She was just like a bigger, like his love interest was a bigger part of the story, and
Yeah.
I was really hoping that we'd get a little bit more of her.
Yeah, no, she definitely should have been in there more. I'm glad that they had more people filling up this world. Some of these Marvel projects lately was a little like, oh, there's only like 4 people around and then nobody else around. Like, oh, there's 6 people in this crowd. Like, there should be like 600 people all around or something. So I'm glad that they're filling up the worlds. It's like, I don't know, maybe that stuff was just when they were dealing with COVID and they couldn't get that many people and they're just now releasing it or something. But the Marvel worlds have felt empty for a bit.
Speaking of, though, using more people, so in the very beginning of the movie when they're going through like the montage and they're all like thanking the Fantastic Four and stuff. Okay, so there was a 1994 version of Fantastic Four that I guess was never released. Mm-hmm. Well, they had all the actors in that from the movie in the beginning. They were some of the people like thanking the Fantastic Four and
I knew that they were in it, but I didn't know where.
Yeah, that was cool.
Galactus's intro was epic. Like when he came on, it's all dark and you're like, where's he at?
Yeah.
And then the lights come on and you start to see him. It's just like, this is badass.
Well, she's like, you stand before Galactus. And then he comes out. I was like, whoa. Yeah, it was awesome.
She was like, we are honored. So, another thing about the CGI or whatever, just something cool in particular, which I knew it was about to be cool. It was still pretty cool when Invisible Woman did the invisibility so they could see their baby.
Oh yeah, that was a very cool scene.
Was pretty dope.
Yeah.
And Galactus, he says eternal hunger, and it reminded me that I am hungry for Eternals too. Where is it at?
Oh man. I did like they did a lot of cool little nods to Jack Kirby, one of the original creators and stuff, like the 828, how it's there. It's set in Earth 828. That's his birthday. So that's cool.
Yeah. So in the trailer, we've seen the thing with the beard, and we're like, what's going on with the beard? Well, the actual reason for it was pretty cool, you know, because they had to conserve energy, so he couldn't shave or whatever. So he was like starting to grow it out and all this and that. But that's got me wondering, like, is he bald or what? He only grows a beard, he doesn't grow hair?
That's true.
Like, oh, what's up with that?
I guess he never grows hair on the top of his head, or chest hair, or back hair.
Right, or leg hair, or hair any other hair, or hair in his underwear. One thing I do in these movies anymore is I'll be seeing these people in the background and wondering where Stan Lee would have been. Which one of these guys would have been Stan Lee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that. And there's a few of them in this one, you know.
Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. There's definitely a few spots where it was like, yep, that's where he would have been.
One of the dopest moments I thought in this movie was when the surfer goes up to the moon. It was just badass shot.
Oh, yeah. When she just stares at it.
Yeah, just the silver moon and the silver surfer is dope. And then Johnny comes up with the fire, adds the fire reflection.
Yes.
So that was dope.
One thing, too, speaking of how the Thing doesn't grow hair anywhere else and stuff, so I guess Johnny's flames just don't affect any of his clothes? Not just the Fantastic Four costume, but none of his clothes.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be, I'm sure all of Reed's clothes are all stretchy, and, of course they have to tailor make the Thing's clothes to fit him.
Yeah.
But something else about the CGI was the baby. Like,
oh yeah,
I'm always wondering, like, is this baby real or is it CGI? It looks real in some spots, CGI in others. And now I could almost like tell, the baby claps and maybe somebody, was clapping and they got the baby to clap and then maybe they just used that but had the baby motion captured the baby or you know what I mean? Like, place the baby somewhere else, like green screen kind of whatever, or maybe made some of the movement CGI, but like some of them had to be real because like it was grabbing Reed's face and things like that. So.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end this time. It's like, because there's like a shot, particularly at the end, where it's like, it's definitely. But there are times where it does look real, and I'm like, man, they kind of put this baby through hell. The poor baby.
Yeah, crying like Galactus. I thought it was funny, like when the baby stretched his face out in the credits. That was a cool, little funny thing to do. But so I seen Galactus in the 70 millimeter IMAX. I seen him in 3D on a big ass IMAX. It wasn't 70 millimeter. But one more other place to see him I would like to maybe go, but maybe y'all could go. There's like 5 minutes of the movie that it's in extra, I don't remember, but it's like the full ratio. You got to go to like a laser IMAX and the whole movie will be in the whatever ratio, but then when Galactus comes up it like expands even more.
So it's like the literal biggest that you can see Galactus.
Well, at the IMAX screen it was still like the biggest because it was still top to bottom the whole movie. There wasn't any screen missing, so it didn't change aspect ratios, but to see it like that, the expanded ratio, you'll probably be able to get to see some of the expansion that you couldn't see at the State Theater, but I think it was still bigger. You know what I mean? The Thing didn't really have too much clobbering time.
No.
He could have punched it. He punched something like 3 or 4 times in the whole movie, damn near.
That was one of my things that set Thunderbolts apart from this movie. Thunderbolts just had more action, and the action scenes might have been a little bit better. And then, some of the jokes I feel like stuck a little bit better from Thunderbolts.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there were some jokes in this movie. It was funny, but kind of corny funny a little bit. Like Thunderbolts was like, some of them make you laugh instantly. Some of them are like, haha, that was funny.
It was more for everybody. And not just like the corny jokes.
Right. Yeah, 'cause, we was talking about the slow beginning, but it has a great ending, and that's kind of what Matt Shackman did with WandaVision too. The first few episodes, people were like, "Is this going to be any good or whatever?" And then towards the end, it's just like, "This is the best thing ever." Best Marvel show. It was the first Marvel show, but still the best.
Yeah, I mean, it's right up there. Thunderbolts, and then it's like...
Yeah, no, I agree.
2 great movies, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not hating at all.
Matt Shackman, did the slow beginning in this and WandaVision with the good climax that made it all worth it. Both good. It's a good movie, even though it's a little slow at the beginning. It's still intriguing, you know what I mean? But... another thing, another similarity between them is they're both time periods, which that's obvious. People's already talking about that. But another thing is they birth powerful babies in each one.
Yeah, very true.
You had Tommy, and then now you got Franklin.
Yeah, and it's all, it kind of like what you just said, but it's all like multiversal.
What do you mean?
It's all within Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
multiverse saga,
Yeah.
that was in the multiverse too. The multiverse saga too, kind of like
Oh
the
yeah,
beginning.
I think that one kicked off Phase 4, and this kicks off Phase 6. But unless Ironheart did, I forget if that closed out 5. But still, right around the same.
Yeah.
Something else I meant to say with the CGI part is like they saved a lot of like time or money or whatever with only having to do the thing's head and hands because he was always wearing clothes. If he had his whole shirt off like the whole time, which I hope we see some, like Hawk and thing fighting or something.
Yeah.
And I want to see him fighting with his shirt off too. I want to see more Rock.
Yes.
Like no homo.
Yeah.
But I want to see the thing with the shirt off.
No, but yeah, like you said, I want to see some more collaborating, man.
Yeah, definitely that. The one thing that was funny though that I thought I didn't hear really anybody laugh out loud, but I thought it was the funniest joke in the thing was the time dilation joke when they're by the star. Neutron star, whatever, it's talking about time dilation, and she's like, "Is it dilating more than me?" Or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, okay, that's funny. That's funny. I almost thought that Galactus did the gender reveal for the baby because he was like, he has the power cosmic. But then after not watching again, I was like, no, they referred to him as a boy before that. So I was almost wondering if Galactus did the gender reveal.
Yeah.
That would have been cool if he did.
Yeah.
They should have done that.
Yeah, that would have been cool. They missed opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, so when they were teleporting the egg with the bridge, they had the bridge and they made the egg go to this landing pad that they had built. And it's over here. Where's the landing pad for the far away in space?
Unless he can use black holes as another landing pad, I guess.
I mean, there's got to be some explanation.
Yeah.
But why didn't he need a landing pad for an egg, but not Galactus or a planet? They just put calculations in or something. Why couldn't you have done that with the egg? Why was the landing pad even in the equation of the egg if it wasn't even going to be in the moving of the planet or Galactus?
Yeah. It didn't play a part.
Nope. But Galactus, like, he had all those lights all over him and stuff. And when I was noticing it in the trailer, I was wondering if there was like civilizations living on him or something. Like, that would have been dope.
Man,
That would have been dope if he had people living in him. But no, when Reed got closer to him, you could tell they're just like little lights on him, and they weren't as big as windows when he was next to the building. So I'm like, okay, the windows on these buildings are a lot bigger than the lights on him, so it can't be the civilizations unless they're like tiny people or something.
But one thing too is like he can manipulate his size.
Right.
Why didn't he just shrink down when he came to Earth?
Because how epic would that be?
True. They had to make an epic scene out of it.
Now, Vanessa, I think, is the best actor in the whole movie, though.
Really?
Like, yeah. Like, she conveyed her emotions. Like, she was fierce as a mother. Her anger. When Johnny was doing stuff, she was, like, proud of him, and you could see it. Like, I don't know. I just think she translated well with everything.
I could agree with that.
Yeah.
I'd have to say for me a close second would be Julia Garner.
Yeah. Now Julia and whatever the guy, I can't remember his name, that did Galactus. They were both
Ralph
dope.
Ineson?
Yeah. Dude, yeah, no, they killed it. But as
For
far,
sure.
They were both CGI, but as far as like the live action or any other, yeah, Vanessa Kirby killed it. And Joe Kirby, it's only fitting anyways.
Yeah. Dang. Ralph Ineson has like a really deep voice too, so it wasn't hard for him to do the Galactus
No,
voice.
that's why they got him. But there was a lot of parallels between this and Fantastic Four. No, between Fantastic Four and Superman, because so you had the tall buildings in the middle of the city, the Future Foundation with the Fantastic Four, and the LexCorp building. You know,
Yep.
like all both in the middle, and that's where stuff happens, and it gets messed up, and the cities are getting evacuated, so that has to happen. The robots with the fours on their chest, you know, Irby and Gary, they should do a little series together. There's 4 characters who are the good guys. You know, of course, the Fantastic Four. Then you got Superman and the Justice gang. You know, that was 3 characters. So you got 4 there. And then the 2 bad guys. And, you know, one was kind of the brain, but really Galactus is the stomach and not the brain. And then you got the brawn of Ultraman and Silver Surfer. So there's like those parallels there.
I didn't think of it like that.
And when they go, you know, in Superman, they go to that mini pocket dimension, but in Fantastic Four, they go to space where Galactus was at. But both places had like rivers of, it was lava or whatever here, molten, and then it was the particle river or whatever.
Yeah,
in there.
like the something particle.
Superman was like a little bit more frantic and all over the place, and where Fantastic Four was maybe a little bit more focused.
Yeah, that's definitely a fair point.
So a lot of similarities with that one contrast there. So hey, Brandon, what does Wolverine and Mr. Fantastic have in common?
I don't know.
They got nothing. They got nothing. Dude, as soon as Reed said that, that's all I heard in my mind.
That's all you could think about.
Yeah, he's like, got nothing. I got nothing.
That's great. I didn't make that connection.
So they do it both the same. This is repeated twice. Like it's got to be a meme or something, man.
Maybe he took that from Deadpool and Wolverine. It's like, I'm gonna use that.
There's something I noticed that doesn't have anything to do with the movie or whatever, but the Times Square, I only noticed it because of the angle that they shot down. The streets look like an A. The Avengers A.
I noticed that too, but I was wondering if they were trying to make it look more like a 4, like the Fantastic Four logo. But yeah, it definitely looks more like the Avengers A.
Yep.
It's like, what are they trying to do here?
At the end of the movie, they had Franklin in baby blue. And they were all in like the more regular blue. He was in baby blue. That was pretty cool little.
What's weird too about the thing that you just said, the A in the streets. Okay, so there's a fan theory going around right now. I don't know where it started or whatever, but supposedly Mr. Fantastic is going to be like the leader of the Avengers in Doomsday. So I'm like, that would be interesting.
That's a good segue into something I was wanting to say. When I was a kid, I had the Fantastic Four comic and the Avengers comic. I might still have them, I don't know. But the comic of the Fantastic Four is like them busting through this ship and them seeing the Avengers in the background. But then the cover of the Avengers is the reverse. It shows the Avengers up front with the Fantastic Four in the background. So I kind of hope they do like some kind of meetup like that.
Yeah.
You know, like where they show them like they're over here and they're over here. And then, you know, it shows their perspective looking at them for a moment. Then it shows the other person's perspective looking at them. And then I can't remember what happened in the comic.
That would be epic.
It's been a long time since I wrote it. But yeah, that would be so dope.
There's another...
Even some posters for that. 2 different posters for the movie. That'd be dope.
There's another fan theory too that, so we all know now, anyone who's seen both movies, in Thunderbolts they have the ending, the post-credit scene where it shows the Fantastic Four ship entering the atmosphere or whatever. Well, there's a fan theory going around that might not be the Fantastic Four. That might be Doom coming there with Franklin.
Yeah, maybe. But that's something I was going to talk about, was like, I was going into this movie waiting to see how that post-credit scene from Thunderbolts tied into they don't show nothing about that.
No.
There's nothing. They're not escaping in that thing nowhere. So is that going to come from Doomsday? Or when is that going to take place?
Yeah, That's kind of what makes me think more about that. Like I said, that fan theory. That's like,
Well,
because I mean, it didn't show anything like that in the movie, so it almost would
Yeah,
have to be like somebody took the ship or something, and
I don't know
it's
where
not
they
actually them.
I don't know where they would have came up with that theory yet. There's no logical reason that I can think of for that. But
There's
we'll
a whole
see.
video, I forget, but
Doom, you could hear the noise like before it showed him in the post-credit scene. I think that was
Yeah.
the Doom door. I can't remember what they're called, the time doors, whatever it is, but that's what Mr. Fantastic used in the Multiverse of Madness, the Doctor Strange. That was one of the Doctor Doom doors. So if he has, I don't know, but he might have came in, that's how he got into that building, was using that door, and maybe he steps out and escapes with them.
yep.
Let's see here. I didn't notice it till yesterday, but the baby's hands were glowing when he brought his mom back to life, the same color as her eyes. So you could see it under he has his hands on her chest, his hands glow that light blue cosmic color, and that's a different color than any of the other Marvel colors that they've been using for any of the powers. You know, like the Scarlet Witch, you got the red, the purple, you know, how they're color code the powers.
See, I didn't notice that, and I was looking for that. Like, I looked for that to see if there was anything like that.
No, I looked.
It's very subtle.
I was wondering. But like, I don't know, I'm just running through my notes real quick. I like how at the end, when the baby's messing with Johnny's hair or whatever, and then they're about ready to go for the TV, and he's like trying to fix that little spot or whatever. So I thought that was a nice little touch. But the movie is called Fantastic Four First Steps. You know what we do not see in this movie? The baby's first steps ever. Do not. They skip that whole phase of his life.
For real, jump forward.
Yeah, forward.
4 years.
Yeah, exactly. It is. But Doctor Doom's music was dope. Alan Silvestri, that was dope. Something else. When right before Johnny figures out the language, you know, he like, oh, I figured it out, and then this happens and that happens. Then he meets the surfer and can talk the whole language automatically and has everything set up to play on all the buildings everywhere. But anyways, other than that, right before he's coming and says, he's like, I figured it out. He's like, we're moving the planet right now. We're the Fantastic Four. That's 4, and the thing holds up his 4 fingers because he only has 3 fingers, and then the one. She's like, 4. That's 4. He has to use his whole hand to do that. But then in the comic or in the cartoon, they draw him with 5 fingers.
Yeah. See, I've been seeing a lot of people say that Joseph Quinn was miscast as the Human Torch. And
I don't know. I think he was good.
yeah, I loved him.
Yeah,
I thought he was great.
They're just saying that before they even watched the movie.
Haters.
Well, I do wish John Malkovich was in there. Like, they could have put him as the post-credit scene instead of that cartoon one, or they could have threw him in that montage when they talked about him and showed the apes. Like, I wish they didn't have to pull him out. I hope that they have it as a deleted scene or something. But
yes, they might.
it kind of makes sense. I haven't seen that scene except for the little part they showed in the trailer. But in my mind, I'm like, it probably didn't fit in this movie. But I wish they would have did something.
And I like John Malkovich too. So
yeah. Paul Walter Hauser as Mole Man was pretty decent. You know, I didn't think he was like the best or the most funniest. You know, his jokes didn't quite land as, you know, they were funny, but not funny. You know what I mean? It's like, haha, I get what you're saying.
And he didn't get a lot of screen time, but it was good.
Yeah, no, he stood out, but I wish it would have like been a little bit more funny or something.
Yeah, they could have had some better jokes for him.
When they showed Surfer's origin story, I do believe because Norrin Rad and Ball, Silver Surfer Norrin Rad became the Surfer to save her life. But in the alternate reality, I might be wrong about this, but from what I gather, she sacrificed herself to save him. But in the movie, it looks like it's for her kid.
Yeah.
So they changed that aspect of it.
do.
I was wondering if they were going to have Norrin Radd in there, because the one actor came out and said he was cast as Norrin Radd.
The one who originally played him in the second?
No, for this movie. But then Julia Garner was announced, and then he apologized. I can't remember who he was. So I was wondering if he was still going to be in the movie, and maybe he would have been,
part of that scene.
Right.
Part of her backstory. Yeah.
But maybe this guy will be the Surfer in our, universe, or maybe, I don't know why they even did that, why he announced it.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just goes with, the whole different 828, different universe, so maybe it's like a different Shalabal.
Yeah.
Had a different backstory.
Yeah, it's definitely different. One thing I didn't get is right before they're about to hand the baby off to Galactus, and they're standing there by the bridge, and she's looking up at it like, this used to be the most beautiful thing that we ever built. It's like, you just built it. And it was only for Galactus. Like, they had the small one that moved the egg, right? Like,
Right.
Was that thing built anywhere else? No, they showed them building it for Galactus. So it was always for that version. What do you mean it was always so beautiful? I didn't understand. It took a minute, and then I was like, hold on a second. What?
Wait a minute. This was just built.
After Galactus was stretching Reed out, and he let go of him when he got hit by the third time thing clobbered something at the end of the movie. It sounded like it was like a balloon deflating or something. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
That was funny.
It floated down like a feather.
And then, and then when they were leaving at the end, when they were supposed to come out to the show at the 5-year anniversary, but they had to leave for their emergency, and the thing's pushing Franklin. He's like, precious cargo, and it just reminded me of Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. Because the precious cargo, bumper stickers and all that stuff you see everywhere.
That whole scene at the end is funny.
Yeah,
when they're trying to figure out the car seat.
Yeah, just more funny, silly family dynamic. It was pretty dope.
That might have been the funniest scene to me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I thought that one was funny.
So when Johnny is holding up his Flame On toy.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking that they didn't say any Flame On in the whole movie, but there was that one. But they weren't trying. Nobody was trying to get Johnny to say Flame On. And I guess they left that up to Chris. But that toy that's Chris's, since they just used it last year in Deadpool Wolverine. But anyways, that toy was just like a regular plastic. That thing didn't have anywhere where it could talk.
No,
that was not a talking toy.
And it was like that big.
Yeah.
The four of us will face the danger. We will protect you.
Hi, Harold. Subscribers. Are you the protectors of this planet?
What's the plan, Reed?
I'm working on it. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond.
Johnny, quit screwing around!
The Fantastic Four must defend the Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus and his enigmatic herald, the Silver Surfer.
Come on, Reed, what are we doing?
Just one moment, hold on.
I hunger. I am the popcorn bucket devourer.
What time is it, Ben? No, Johnny. Say it! I don't wanna!
For more Rig of the Dude reviews and movie news, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time at the cinema.
I herald his beginning. I herald your end. I herald Galactus.